The man was on a plane and encountered a serious air crash. The explosion caused a big hole in the cabin door. The strong suction instantly destroyed everything in the plane. Finally, the plane fell into the sea at a rapid speed. At the critical moment, he grabbed a life raft. He saved his life by luck with buoyancy, but the sea was stormy at the moment. Every second of danger could swallow him. He could only hold on to the rope of the life raft tightly. Fortunately, the man was lucky. The next day, he was washed up on a small island. He was not grateful for his survival because he didn't know what he would face in this strange place. He picked up the scattered items on the plane and walked towards the island. But it seemed that there was only endless silence to greet him. It was obvious that this was a deserted island where no one had set foot.
Help! Help!
In order not to be trapped here, he began to think of ways to save himself. He could only write a character for help on the beach. He couldn't think of any other effective way. Every day he hoped that a passing ship would find him, but as the night got darker, his expectations were gradually eroded by the fear of the silence around him. The next day, he used the items he picked up to make a temporary rest area. He began to examine his useful items one by one, but now he had nothing on his body except a pocket watch given by his girlfriend. At this moment, he regretted this trip. He was originally a senior executive of a FedEx company. Before the business trip, his girlfriend told him to come back before Christmas Eve, but this sudden accident broke his expectations. At this time, he didn't know how he was going to survive. He picked up a lot of express deliveries from his company, but he didn't open them, because this was the integrity of his work for him. Even if he was stranded on a deserted island, he still had to stick to the trust of his customers. But on this deserted island, in addition to the hard coconuts, he could not see anything edible. He came to the highest point of the island to observe the place, but there was nothing but endless sea water around him. He could not see any other creatures. Just as he was thinking about how to be rescued, a figure in the distance caught his attention. He thought it was a survivor like himself, but when he turned the other side over, he found that it was the captain who had died a long time ago. He dragged the captain's body onto the island and collected useful items from him, including a pair of shoes that fit him well and a flashlight that could still be lit. Then, he dug a simple grave for the captain and buried him here. At this time, Chuck was scared. He was afraid that he would die here like the captain. On the second day, he began to try some survival skills. He sharpened a stick on a stone and used it as a fishing tool. Although everything seemed so stupid, all this busyness also made him no longer desperate and delusional. That night he accidentally saw a faint light. He shouted desperately to attract the attention of the boat. At this moment, it seemed like he had seen a life-saving straw. Although he kept flashing the flashlight, the long distance could not attract the attention of the boat at all. Watching the light disappearing from his sight little by little, his heart was full of anger and unwillingness. The next day he couldn't wait to paddle his kayak in that direction. This was his hard-earned chance to survive. Even though he was full of faith in survival, he could not resist the endless sea. He was beaten back to reality by the waves again and again. He rushed to the distance countless times, but was finally ruthlessly pressed under the waves. With a burst of severe pain, his thigh was cut by the coral. At this moment, he no longer had the strength to escape. He could only drag the damaged kayak back to the shore in a mess.